And we are live. What's going on, YouTube Live? It's your boy, Billy Rowe. Today is Wednesday. I'd like to welcome you to the first row. And if it is Wednesday, you should know what that means. It's time for a Wednesday word. That is Wednesday word. Jumping straight into it. Tonight's topic is make a commitment. As always, I like to explain what I mean by my topic. So what do I mean by the topic, make a commitment? Well, there's a lot of different areas that we can make a commitment to in our lives. There's, relationships, there's jobs, there's, sometimes we make commitments to the wrong activities or the wrong people. There's just tons of areas that we can make a commitment in. However, but when I say make a commitment, it's not designed to a specific area. It's really designed to a specific result. Make a commitment to success. That is what I'm talking about. A commitment that you are not likely to break. And so tonight I have 3 tools for the first row that I want to share with you in regards to making a commitment, how to go about making the commitment, and how to set the commitment up for the best success possible. So let's jump straight into it. Tool number 1. The very first tool when it comes to making a commitment that I thought was very important was saying the thing that you are committing to out loud, almost like making a declaration. So back in like the medieval ages, they used to have the town crier, and the town crier was like the equivalent of our newsman, our news anchor man or woman. Is today. They would get information, and that information would be disseminated by standing almost like in the middle of the town and just crying out that information. Hear ye, this is blah, 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 blah. Hear ye, such and such is a great person. Hear ye, such and such is a wanted criminal. All these different things would be said out loud by the town crier. And so when I say something out loud, I'm almost saying be your own town crier. Be the person who is declaring or declaring the things that you want to achieve, the things that you perceive as success. Now, there's a caveat to this. Number 1, I don't recommend going and standing like in the middle of your local downtown and crying all these things that you're going to do. But amongst your peers, amongst your trusted inner circle, you should be declaring the things that you're working on for 2 reasons. Number 1, the very first thing is you hearing what it is that you want to do. Sometimes it makes it more clearer than what we're saying in our head. Sometimes for myself personally, I'll have a thought and that thought bounces around in my head, but it's not really clear what it is I'm thinking. So sometimes I have to write it down. Sometimes I have to say it out loud. And sometimes I have to write it down and then say it out loud and say, does that make sense? So sometimes that saying it out loud will bring clarity. But the other thing that it does is it allows the people, the trusted people in your circle, to hear what you are trying to accomplish. And if there are trusted people in your circle, they should probably care, we're going to say, about you achieving your success. And if they care about you achieving your success and there is a method or a means that they have to contribute to that, to help with that, to help you get to that platform that you're trying to achieve, then being that town crier, being your own self crier, or saying things out loud allows them to audibly check in with what they can do to help you achieve that goal. So there's those 2 things. Now, when I do say out loud, what I don't mean is vocalize, step by step how you're going to do something. Anybody who has been in business, whether as an entrepreneur, in sales for an organization, in network marketing, they understand that trying to lay out step by step how you're going to do something and projecting that to people, it can take away your competitive edge. If depending on what your success is, it may require a competitive edge to differentiate yourself from people who are not necessarily in competition with you, but they are in the similar or same or similar pursuit of success. And so don't declare like your step by step. Don't, hear ye, I'm going to be an NBA basketball player and I'm going to wake up in the morning and eat this diet and do and write all this process and cry all this process out, because somebody may be sitting in the background saying, thank you for doing all the work for me. Now, instead of me being your competition in the sense of, hey, we're both trying to get to the NBA and we're going to compete against each other to get it, now I'm your competition within your own program. So saying things out loud is not the equivalent of saying things out loud step by step. It's not saying the how, it's saying the what. It's saying this is what I am working to achieve. This is what I'm looking to do. And so there's different levels of that. The different levels being, again, if you're in your trusted circle, then maybe you can share some of the how and more details on about what exactly you're looking to do, and then the why you're looking to do it. But if you're just putting it out there, as they say, putting it into the universe so that the universe can hear what you're saying, maybe you do that in privacy or in private so that you, again, can hear what you're saying out loud and gain the clarity and have maybe a little more focus on the success that you're attempting to produce. And the last thing about saying things out loud, I'm not saying about making empty promises. We all know somebody who at one point or another, maybe always, or maybe they were, or maybe they are, who knows, but they make these empty promises. Oh yeah, I'm going to be there. Oh yeah, I'm going to do that. Oh yeah, this is what I got. All these empty promises that are formed and made. And then what happens at the end of the day is they don't follow through, and the disappointment that comes with that. So imagine when you start making empty promises to yourself, the disappointment that comes with that. It's like, I said that this is what I wanted to do. I said that I was going to do it. The Wednesday word is something very similar to this. Like I've said on Wednesday, I'll have a Wednesday word. Now there's a couple times where I'm not able to do a Wednesday word, and I'm okay with that because I realize that I may not be available for 52 Wednesdays a year. I try and really work my schedule around Wednesday words. However, if it was just like, oh yeah, you're going to have the Wednesday word, and then it was on Tuesday, and then it was on Friday, and then it was on Sunday, and then it was on Wednesday, and like it's always jumping around, all of a sudden the Wednesday word is not the Wednesday word. It's just, I said it was the Wednesday word, which was an empty promise, not only to myself, but to the viewers who are waiting for the Wednesday word. What's going on, Mark Anthony? And then not only is it an empty promise, again, to myself, it's an empty promise to my viewers who are saying, okay, it's Wednesday. I should have something that is content that I can get into, get these these tools for the first row and jump in and bite on. And it's not here. Oh, maybe it's going to be Thursday this week. Oh, maybe it's going to be Tuesday. Maybe it's going to be Friday. And what that empty promise does is it erodes the confidence that we have. I believe, at least, it erodes the confidence that we have in ourselves for the things that we do say out loud to manifest. And that is a place that I don't want to be, and I recommend you not being, is a place where you don't even believe the words that are coming out of your mouth. So that's tool number one. Say it out loud. When you want to make a commitment, say it out loud, get it out in front of yourself, get it out in front of the people that you trust and that care about you, and then get it out in general to the greater population. Tool number two, when it comes to making a commitment, this is probably like almost my tool number one. I think only reason number one comes first is because it's audible, and then comes in the schedule. Tool number two is put it on your calendar. I cannot tell you. I don't even remember. It's been so many years now that I don't remember when I started living based on my calendar. And it's not living in the confines of my calendar. It's living based on, hey, this is what I documented. This is what I wrote down. This is what I allocated time to say that I was going to do. And I am the biggest person who will tell you, hey, if you want to do something with me and we agree on it verbally, make sure I put it on my calendar. Because if it's not on my calendar, my ability to just get busy, my ability to book something over it, all that stuff comes into as fair game. Like, if it's not on my calendar, or get together or whatever does not exist. I have calendar reminders going off all the time. Like sometimes it'll be like midnight at night and I'm like, hey, tomorrow, this is what you got going on. And I also like that I could talk to Google and say, hey, I need you to tell me what I have coming up. And it'll tell me my whole day, lay it out in front of me. But the other thing that a calendar does, and the reason for me why it's so important, is it allows me to see the approaching events or the approaching activity or the approaching goal. So for instance, going back to making a commitment with people, when you have things on a calendar, let's go with success. I'm sorry. When you have things on your calendar and you're making a commitment to success, you can see if you're approaching the milestones that you've set up. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you may set a milestone. Hey, in 5 days, I want to have X accomplished, and it takes you 6 and it takes you 7. That happens. However, I don't know about you guys, but I think a lot of us have this ability to procrastinate. And the longer we say we're going to do something, but there's no definite date to accomplish it, it becomes more lofty for us, or more wishy-washy for us to commit to actually getting that done. So instead of going to the gym, or instead of going to hang out with friends, or instead of doing the other things that we want to do, it causes us to focus and say, hey, this timeline is getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. One of the timelines I'm currently working on is I got to lose about 15 pounds over the next 4 weeks, because I have a thing coming up that I'm going to be going to, and the weight that I'm at is important to me. So now all of a sudden, yesterday, I will say I had a Stroop waffle McFlurry, which was delicious. But now today it's like, okay, I had my yogurt parfait. I had a couple of snacks. I'm going to have some chicken for dinner and start really honing in on my diet. Next week, I'll start my vegetarian diet. So my meat consumption will go down and my calories will come from vegetables. And so I have this thing that's sitting on my calendar saying, hey, this day you're going to be in this place and you want to be at a certain weight. You better start making sure you're making changes. Now, when I was back in January or back in March or back in June, it was like, it's a little further away. I got time. But as it gets closer, the pressure actually builds up for me. So placing it on my calendar makes it real for me. And so I think that that's an important tool, because of the fact that when you're trying to commit to something, how committed are you if you're just relying on your memory? We all have memory slips where it's like, oh, I forgot that I was supposed to do that. And sometimes, sometimes, shoot, I think today, as a matter of fact, I forgot what day it was. I was like, oh, what day is it? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? And as soon as I said Wednesday, my brain said, oh, yeah, we got to do the Wednesday word today. Why? Because that is a recurring calendar event on my calendar. I don't have to look at my calendar anymore. It's recurring. So I already know if it's Wednesday, it's time for that Wednesday word. So that's the second tool, is putting it on a calendar, putting it in a place that you can see it. If it's not a calendar, it can be a journal, but somewhere writing and documenting it down so that you know so that you can see and be aware of the approaching event, or of the approaching success, or the approaching activities that you need to accomplish in order to achieve that success. And then the third and the final tool when it comes to commit, or make a commitment, is commit to good investments. And this is like critical to so many areas. Relationships, committing to good investments. It's so easy to jump into a relationship. Like we can go from social media to Match.com to eHarmony to outside your house at your next door neighbor. Like, there's so many different ways to jump into relationships. However, in jumping into relationships, a lot of times we don't look to see if the commitment we are making, or the investment that we are going to have to make, is going to be a good investment. It'd be like a day trader just simply going into the stock market and say, I'm going to pick 5 stocks at random and hope I make money today. And a lot of us, not a lot of us, some of us go into relationships with that mentality. There's about 5 candidates outside. I'm going to just select them all and hope for the best on one of them. And then that'll be my investment. And then what happens is we take a loss a little bit, and it's like, oh, well, I'm going to stay in it because I don't want to leave at a loss. Just like with stock, I want to make money. I don't want to lose money. So I'm not going to leave at a loss. I'm going to stay in this relationship and invest more in it and hope that I get back to even or greater. And if I get back to even or greater, then maybe I feel a little better about walking away from it. However, but what sometimes happens, and many times I believe happens, is we take that initial loss, which is an indicator for us that, hey, you know what? This investment, even if it's a good one, it's not a good one right now. Maybe we need to come back and visit it later, whether that's people, whether that's activity, whether that's certain vices that you may have. We stay in it. And then if we leave right there at the loss, look at how much loss we actually deal with. But what happens is we stay trying to make it better, and we lose more, and we lose more, and we lose more. So that's why committing to good investments is very important, especially, I can't tell you enough, with people. If you listen to what people have to say about your success, or about your ambitions, your dreams, your hopes, it will be very interesting to you if you just simply listen to them. You would be able to determine if they are the people who you should have in your inner circle, or if they're just the people who should be in general population getting your town crier message when you're saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do. When I say, hey, first row is something that I'm doing, there's different levels of which I share that with people. There are certain levels that I share in depth what I want to do with first row. And there's other levels where I'm like, hey, inspire people to hopefully achieve their greatness. That's sometimes as general as I get and very concise. It's general, but very concise and specific. And it's like, and you don't get any more because I don't know you, or I don't trust you, or I don't know, you might try to sabotage me. So I'm good. The other thing about a commitment to good investments is not simply listening to what's being said, but listening to how listening to how people will promote your success. Like, it's like if I had, they say if I had a nickel or a dollar for every time I heard whatever, but if I had a dollar and I was able to set that dollar on the ground, and just the fact that that dollar was set in a specific place on the ground, that more dollars would be added to it. Shoot, I'd go and set a couple dollars on the ground in the same place, come back later that day and have more dollars. The same thing when it comes for promotion of your success or promotion of your dream. You want people that are not just going to hear what you say and say, yeah, sounds good. All right, good luck with all that. I don't see that happening, but whatever. You want people who are going to be motivated and driven and inspired by what it is that you're trying to accomplish, inspired by your success in order to promote your success. Hey, there's been tons of opportunities that I've had access to because of knowing somebody who knew what I wanted to do and them putting me in the right position to get certain accesses or to get certain, whether it be interviews. I mean, shoot, my very first job that I had was a matter of, hey, somebody promoted me. They knew I was trying to get a job. They promoted me at the organization and said, hey, this person is a hard worker. He's a high school student. This is what I think he can do. And I went in for an interview and I got the job. So those are the three tools that I came up with tonight when it comes to making a commitment. The very first tool being say things out loud, get it out there, be your town crier, be willing to be that voice, that advocate for what it is you're trying to accomplish or what it is you see as success. Number two is put it on your calendar, make it real. When people say, hey, they're getting married, one of the things they say that one of the questions that people get asked when they say, oh, we're getting married is, when's the date? If you're like, oh, well, we don't know, maybe this year, maybe next year, maybe the year after, at some point people are gonna be like, you sure you're getting married? Because maybe you would know what year or what month you want or something. So make it real, put it on your calendar, get that information out so that you have some deadlines, some hard deadlines that will be disappointing to yourself in the sense of empty promises if you don't accomplish them. And then the third and the final thing is commit to good investments. It's easy to make a commitment willy-nilly to really anything. But the worst thing that we can do is to make a commitment to bad situations, to bad investments. And when I say bad situations and bad investments, it doesn't necessarily mean that the person themselves are the bad person. Sometimes we make commitments to relationships when the timing is off. And we ourselves are not ready for those relationships. We're not ready for the responsibility. We're not ready for the maturity that those relationships require. So be willing to make good commitments, not only just for yourself, but for the people that you're committing to. Don't drag anybody down in the mud if it's not absolutely necessary. So that's what I got for you tonight. As always with the Wednesday Word, I like to share a personal story that kind of got me thinking about this topic of make a commitment and success and kind of like a space where I'm at in life right now. And so I started thinking about this actual trip that I'm on right now. As you can see, my background is different. I'm not in my apartment in Utah. I'm in Sacramento. But with being in Sacramento, this is going to be my last trip to California for the year. And when I started thinking about making a commitment, it was like I initially started thinking from the relationships lens of all the people that I know and the relationships that I developed in Sacramento over the years, and how this trip, I don't have enough time to see everybody, though I would like to, though I would love to. I just don't have the time and I don't have the energy because I've driven now in the month of July a total of 30 hours going to Sacramento, to Utah, back to Sacramento, and I still got 10 more hours to go back to Utah. So I don't have the energy. And so I'm being very intentional about the time that I spend with people, trying to squeeze people in where I can squeeze people in. Some people it's just going to be, hey, hug, good to see you. I hope everything goes great for you for the remainder of the year. Don't be a stranger. Catch me on First Row. Catch me on Facebook. Catch me on Instagram. Catch me wherever you can catch me. Catch me outside. How about that? But other people, it's very, it's like a dinner, or I actually got to take a hike on Sunday with my best friend and one of my really good friends. It's other people, it's just like I said, just in passing, or hey, I'm in town. I'm probably not going to get a chance to see you, but if you have a moment, let's try to connect. And if we don't, no crime, no foul. But here's where these tools really started kind of jumping out to me, the say it out loud portion of wanting to connect with people, like seeing somebody or sending somebody a message and saying, hey, what's your availability for Wednesday? What's your availability for Thursday? What's your availability for Friday? And really making that effort to make that connection. That is me projecting as my town crier, saying, hey, the relationships that I've built over the last 30 plus years are important to me and valuable to me. And though I know I won't be able to physically see you unless you make a trip to Utah over the remainder of this year, I do want to make sure that you know that I'm important, that not I'm important, that you're important to me. And it's important to me that you know that you're important to me. The second part being putting it on a calendar. My calendar is like ding, 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 almost all the way until about Friday. And then I kind of shut everything down because I got my son's graduating to kindergarten. Yay, him. And I have to start getting my mind rested before I take a 10-hour drive back because I want to safely make it back home. And then the third part being committing to good investments. There's some people that I may have thought were important or had a significant value, and I thought we had a significant value in each other's lives. And as I analyze the interactions, sometimes people just aren't available. Time doesn't match up, whatever it may be. But again, if you listen to what people say and what people do, it's easy to start really honing in on who belongs in your inner circle, who you prioritize you're going to spend that time with, and then who you say, okay, maybe I moved you a little too deep into my circle. I'm going to push you out a little bit. And it's not a feelings or, oh, my feelings are hurt because we're not spending time. It's a matter of, okay, if this is my last trip and I'm trying to prioritize somebody who doesn't see a priority in seeing me, then it's a matter of, hey, it's okay that you don't see the priority in seeing me. I see the priority in seeing you, but I'm going to move you back a little bit in order to make sure that our investment in each other is equitable. It's not a competition. I'm not trying to outdo you. I don't want you to outdo me. But when it comes to the deeper, more meaningful relationships in my life, I want things that are equitable. Now, that again doesn't mean that the people who maybe something came up in their schedules or our schedules didn't quite match up. If that happens, it happens. It's life. But if I feel or think or analyze it to be or reflect on it, and I feel like it's something where it's like, I'm making more of an investment into the success of this friendship, into the success of a lifelong friendship, because really overall that's the goal. If I feel like I'm making more of the investment and it's not equitable, then I have to reevaluate if that's a good investment for me. And it may still be a good investment with me investing more than the other person, but it's something that I have to pull within myself, analyze, reflect upon, and then decide verbally if that's something I want to continue in. So that's what really got me thinking about this topic more so in depth. I had another story that I thought about this topic initially, but that topic or this story, because it's so present, so fresh, so current, really just made it to making a commitment for me to the success of the relationships that I developed over the years. And so I hope, as always, you guys have enjoyed the Wednesday Word. The next time you will see us live will be Tuesday. That is July. I don't have a calendar in front of me. Oh, I do, but it's a 2018 calendar. There'll be Tuesday. Today is the 23rd. So plus, July 31st. There we go. Oh, no, I just made that up. Sorry. It'll be July 30th. Tuesday, July 30th. That will actually be the last intersation on the first row until we can find out what the workaround will be for the technical difficulties that are going to be created with the loss of Google on Airs. So I hope you guys enjoy that on Tuesday. The topic is going to be a surprise, but the goal is to either have simply your fan favorite Moses Jenkins or a small panel discussion on a particular topic. Other than that, that's all we got for today. I thank you guys for rocking with me on the first row. Thank you guys for spending your time with me on Wednesday, just as I spend my time with you on Wednesday. If you're watching this via live, I definitely a special thank you to you for coming and spending time with me at 6:30 p.m. every Wednesday, or the Wednesdays that you can. If you're watching via the replay, please leave a comment. Let us know that you tapped in later on. And I definitely appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to watch the replay. Other than that, thank you guys for watching tonight. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Until the next time, if you like this video, share it. If you share it, like it. We're happy to engage with you in the comments, and we're happy to engage with you in the live chat. But other than that, one love, peace, and God bless.